Good morning. Today our sound of the day is going to be a long E sound, but E is not going to be by itself. Let's look at these pictures real quick. Bee, easel, teepee, and eagle. All of these long E's have a vowel next to them. Now, in the past, you guys have been told that when two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking. Sometimes. Take a look at this word right here. We have the word, well, we have two vowels first of all. So we see that the first one's probably going to do the talking. We'll put a long sound over there. And then the next one is quiet. So let's read this together. I, pie. That's right, that is pie. But guess what? In today's story, Miss Silent and Miss Long, they're going to break this rule. And you're going to hear and see how that happens. So I have a special guest. Kaylee's going to help me tell the story about Miss Silent and Miss Long. All right, so let's get them in their order because when they go walking, the first one does the talking. All right, they are running this community 5K race. Miss Long was at the lead, of course, but she was beginning to get tired. She had not prepared for this run very well. Miss Silent was racing along behind Miss Long. Miss Silent had been practicing. All at once, Miss Silent took a deep breath and ran around Miss Long. Can you believe it? Miss Long couldn't believe her eyes. Oh, she was shocked. Miss Silent had never run in front of her before. Miss Long and Miss Silent had changed places. From that point on in the race until they got to the finish line, Miss Silent was in front of Miss Long. And at the end of the race, Miss Long congratulated Miss Silent for doing her best. Whoa! Take a look at how they're standing right now. We have the Miss Silent up front. Now, normally the long vowel says its sound first, but it's not today. Take a look at this word right here. We have an I, and then we have an E. Now, your brain might tell you, say a long I sound. So let's try it. You ready? Filed. No, that's not a word, and it certainly doesn't sound right, does it? But think about our story that we just read. Usually the second vowel that you see is going to make the sound first. So let's try that together. Field. Field. Oh, now that sounds right, and that makes more sense. Let's try another word. All right. All those Captain America fans out there, Captain America definitely carries one of these, okay? We have a shield. Shield, that's right. That Miss Silent comes around front and she says her sound first. Even though that I comes first, we're going to hear that long E sound, shield. So be watching for that on your worksheet today. All right, thanks Kaylee for your help with that. I have another helper who's going to come through. On your worksheet today, we're going to be talking about, well, not about snacks just yet, but Avery, would you go ahead and hold up one of your cards, your first card, please? Let's go for this one. On this one, we have two animals. So hold it up a little bit higher for me. We have this turtle and the bear, and we could say the bear is big-er. We use the sound er when we're just comparing two things. So if I was comparing these two bags of snacks, Avery, which bag is bigger? That's right, because I'm only comparing two. But what happens if I don't compare two? What happens if I have three bags? What ending would I put on that word?
E-S-T.
E-S-T, it looks like this, est. Because when we compare three things, we have to use the sound est to say which one was the biggest or the tallest or the smallest. So we use EST when we're talking about three or more things that we're going to compare. Thank you. Go ahead and put that down for me for a second. And very last but not least, I have two words that we've been talking about in phonics. You can look at this word and it says sentence, a complete thought. It has a subject part and a verb part, and it makes complete sense. Then we have something called a fragment. A fragment is just a little group of words. It's either just the subject or just the verb part. And I want you to think about sentences and fragments as pictures. So a sentence is like this picture right here. It's the whole thing. You can look at it and say, wow, that's a beautiful cliff with some beach. Oh, there's a lot going on, but that picture makes sense. It's a sentence. We could make a sentence from this. But a fragment isn't the whole picture. It's not the whole sentence. It's this little teeny tiny piece. Now, does this make sense to you? No, it's just a piece of a picture, just part of it. It doesn't make sense. That's what I want you to remember when you talk about fragments. And on today's worksheet, it says draw a line from the words to the correct picture. You guys got this, okay? It's going to have that long E sound like Miss Long was a long E. All right, write the word that completes each sentence. Here we have some more long E words to complete these sentences. Flip it over to the back. Oh, delicious fruit. I know my favorite, but if you look at these three different fruits, you can see that the apple is big or bigger than the grape. If you're just looking at these two, then we have big and biggest. If you've got to look at all three, circle the word that completes each sentence. And at the very last part, we have a subject part and a verb part of your sentence. You need to please mark the group of words that is a complete sentence. Remember, it's going to be like a complete picture. You have a subject and a verb and the action part. Now, once you fill those out and you tell me which ones are sentences and which ones are fragments, look at the bottom. It says choose a fragment from above. So look up here and find the they're not sentences. Find the two numbers that were just fragments, just pieces of a sentence. And I want you to choose one of those fragments. When you write on the bottom, take a fragment like this one, goes up a ladder. Well, who went up the ladder? That's what you can tell me. You could say, Carson goes up the ladder. Or you could say, my grandpa goes up the ladder. Now don't copy me. Come up with your own subject. But tell me who is going to go up that ladder. Make it a complete sentence down here. Don't forget, before you put your smiley face, put your capitalization and your punctuation. All right, get to it.